Hi everyone. Well, welcome to the monthly forecast reading. I'd like to make a little introduction first for you to get to know what this is about, okay? So the intention for these readings are for them to be monthly. These are more of a general reading, okay? Focus with the intention to apply to as many as you as possible. Sort of global messages that affect the energy of our planet, that affect us at an individual level, and the consciousness, awareness, how it expands or how it contracts, depending, or the awareness that we constantly are receiving from higher sources into the awakening of this planet. So you're going to find that the messages from Spirit will be more at a general level. In fact, to make it more into the physical realm, I am going to be using my tarot card deck, okay? Normally I'm going to be using this one right here. It's called the Cosmic Tarot, okay? And my intention is to use this tarot deck in order to pull the messages that are for the most importance for Spirit. Since I am not tapping on anyone in specific, I want to do it this way, so the most information comes forth. In addition, I plan to tap all sources of light, okay? I will connect with the spirit guides. I will connect with the energies that may come to me or other sources of light that may come to me. Even if for some reason I receive information from the Akashic records, I will be sharing that also, okay? But these readings are intended to be more at a general level, okay? They are not intended at a personal level, and they won't work in that aspect, even though they will make a very strong influence in your life, especially if the energies are touching a living area that you are working on, okay? So, with that being said, let's go for the reading. Hey folks, how are you guys doing? Well, it's time for another forecast. I wonder how the last month went for all of you. I definitely could find out of resonance for the progress, for the harvesting, for reaching out to rewards and getting more out of the effort that it has been invested in prayer months at a personal level and also at a spiritual level. Even though there is a twist, and I kind of felt that last night, when I was already doing some meditating and saying the intentions for today's forecast. As you guys see, I am here shuffling while I'm doing talking, okay? So, it feels to me here that it's quite significant that Mercury is in retrograde. If you guys don't know what that means, you can always look it up. But basically, Mercury retrograde, I personally advise to use it for, number one, a lot of introspection time, for looking into oneself. Number two, trying to work on healing past traumas or even past lives or fix past problems. Because for me, Mercury retrograde is a very significant time for self-regression. You will find that Mercury retrograde is not good for buying electronics or spending big money or making investments. It screws up communications. It messes up with many things. True, but it doesn't mean that you have to hide under a rock, okay? If you are a businessman, for an instance, or whatever, instead of trying to work on progressing your business, when Mercury goes in retrograde, maybe you want to use it to settle and to think of new ideas, or to even focus and think in what you can bring improvement to whatever you are doing, okay? So, the same way that retrograde, the same retro going back into your old self and all things in life, the Spirit has been sharing to focus on doing a lot of meditations and realizations about who you are, about your inner potential, about your worst things, your best things, to do a lot of introspection work and looking inside oneself a lot, okay? Well, now Mercury retrograde is even a better time to do that. It's more symbolic and more fantastic for that aspect, okay? So keep that in mind, okay? So let's see here the first card, okay? The first card is the Princess of Wands, and the first thing I sense is that it's important that the passion that you have been carrying from the last month, okay, the awareness of the accomplishments that you have done need to grow even further, okay? And it's going to be easier to realize the effort that you have invested, it's paid off, okay? And it's also important to understand that this effort doesn't necessarily mean only at a financial level or only at a professional level or whatever. It means even at a deeper level with yourself, okay? As I have been doing in prior forecasts, I'm sure you guys remember. Well, this Princess of Wands here, it tells that during this time of Mercury, okay, you might have a little bit more of personal struggle, okay? And probably you have felt it already because Mercury has been for a while in retrograde and it will be for a good couple weeks more, you know? So it feels to me that still there is a lot of time to start to dig out the worst of you, okay? It sounds crazy, okay? But it's very powerful and very significant the way that Spirit made me say it, okay? You want to try to focus and get the worst out from within you, analyze it, discard probably most of it, but if there is something you can learn from, do it, okay? Because it will become very significant for you. You are going to have less of a baggage in terms of negative energy. And, you know, we all have traits and we all have our personal things. Some of them are greater, some of them are worse, you know. Every single person, every single human being during his or her entire lifetime, they have something to be proud, something to be happy about, something to improve, something to continue to improve. You know, there's always room for more, room for growth. And this Princess of Wands here is saying that this growth needs to happen in a certain degree of self-criticism, okay? Like to be ready to find something that you might not like about yourself, but that you are willing and powerful enough to deal with it. That's the strong message here. It's not only to find the junk that you have stored, okay? It's to find the junk that you have stored, deal with it, learn from it, and discard it, okay? That's the most symbolic part of this message. It might be, you know, not very pleasant at some points. It might be even more of kind of like, I don't like what I see. But if you get to find stuff within yourself, and you are able to say, I don't like what I see, it means that you are doing a good job. Because this Princess of Wands here, it's precisely focused on that, okay? On bringing out the challenges, the inner introspection awareness, and deal with your very own self. That's a challenge that the Princess of Wands is presenting, for you to deal with your own self. But remember to find passion while you do it, okay? That's something very important. It will help you to accomplish more. Even if what you find is something terrible, it doesn't matter, you know? You also have good things to find out yourself. And as you use those, you're going to empower yourself, realizing that indeed, while there is this and that you might not be proud of, there is that and over there to be very proud of, you know. And if you find nothing in this moment of your life to be happy about, yes, be happy because you have found the root of many of your issues through this introspection and self-criticism that the Princess of Wands is bringing us for this month. And this is going to be especially important for you to focus on this. It's possible that many of you have already working on this by natural energies, you know, by the Mercury going to retrograde without even noticing. You might have already jumped into this. But if you haven't, definitely it's a very good time to get started with that, because it's easiest right now to dig out all the old parts of yourself. But this is not something like earlier in February or March. This is more stuff that you need to dig even deeper. Remember at the beginning of the year, it was sort of being brought out by the universe? Well, right now, you know, those things that you might be holding the most, or those stigmas that are the deepest, you have to deal with those, bringing them out and cleanse them, okay? And the Mercury in retrograde is going to help and contribute a lot with that. And for what we can see so far, the global energies are also focused on that. So let's see here the second card, you know, definitely a bit of a tougher one, but definitely a Tower, you know, goes very well with the message here, okay? And, you know, it feels very familiar, this combination of energy. It's something that the Spirit wants us to be really aware of. Because what the Tower is saying here, and here things get a little more tricky now, okay? It feels to me that it's extremely important that you do this, okay? That you focus on this inner work, on this introspection work. Because if not, you, at some point, you are going to start to realize very bad things about yourself. You might feel that you are not empowered enough. You might feel as a loser. You might feel that you won't make it or you won't accomplish it or whatever limiting self-beliefs that will try to take away your path, okay? It's important for you to notice that if you put effort into it, you can accomplish it. Doesn't matter whatever the situation it is, okay? But this tower is a statement that is extremely important for you to really put some effort into this. If you put some effort into this, then you have nothing to be concerned about this tower, because this tower precisely feels. This tower, it does feel again like the prior months, okay? Where I said that the Princess of Wands, it didn't. The tower, which is the result of lack of doing what the Princess of Wands shared, okay? Then it's what's going to be presented, okay? This tower effect, this, you are going to realize, and if you don't realize it on yourself because you don't want to connect with yourself or you just don't want to dig this stuff, life itself, the universe itself is going to dig them out for you, okay? Let's make something up, okay? Let's say that you haven't realized that maybe you are a bit of a jerk with a friend. Let's make that up, okay? And then you don't do your introspection to realize that through the Princess of Wands. Well, maybe a different friend or this very friend might retaliate in a way or might put you in front of many people and leave you with a bad reputation, or something that leaves you really stranded could happen, okay? Sort of feeling very embarrassed or feeling like a failure, or realizing that, for instance, if you were working on a project, for example, and you didn't try to find any problems on the foundation of that project, you just ignore the problems and just keep going, you might as well knock out by the universe, by destiny, by life, you can call it any way, but because of the events, the mechanism of life, you will be forced to realize what is wrong in your life, to realize what is mistaken within you, what you are doing wrong in your job, what you are making up in your daily doings, in your introspections. Because if you do that, as the Prince of Wands said, fantastic, this tower, you might feel that some things are just falling off from you. And the tower in some sense also can help, because if you are saying, well, I want to demolish this tower, and then boom, it gets blasted, it's helpful, you save on having to demolish it yourself. But at least you have to put the initial effort. If you are enjoying the shadow of the tower and you say, no, I don't want to demolish it, and then the universe will demolish it for you, and it will fall right on your head, which is a very bad thing, of course. So what you want to make sure is that you are at least every day working with yourself to try to find improvement in yourself, in your doings, in everything, okay? With an extra critic eye because of the messages and because of Mercury retrograde, and especially because of this tower here. And let's see what's the last one. Okay, this is one that came up also in prior forecast readings. This is the Wheel of Fortune. And, quite of an interesting end for a forecast, because this Wheel of Fortune is saying here that it's precisely based on the two first actions that is going to decide a little bit not only the last few days or last week of this month, but also how it's going to go into next month, okay? It feels to me this is a transitional point again in the year, and this Mercury, it's the Mercury of the middle of the year. Kind of like I felt drawn to say that. Why is that? Well, it apparently has significance. That is the middle Mercury, and it's for you to really focus on what I have been sharing, because then the Wheel of Fortune will bring you into maximizing your results. You can find two outcomes. If you don't do anything and you suffer at the tower and you still don't do anything, then you are going to feel losses. That will be already for September, okay? But still, I want to share that with you. You can start feeling them even this month, okay? Losses in all aspects, losses of friendship, losses of connections, losses of work, professional loss, monetary losses, theft. It can happen, many things, okay, that are not positive, but for the universe to once again make you see what you have to change. That's the problem, that what you haven't been able to see yet, the universe is going to make you see it. This is why of the Princess of Wands and the introspection suggestion, because the Wheel of Fortune is also saying that as it has been compensated throughout this year, in some months, after mayhem, after a lot of intensity at an energetic level, many of you will find that you are going to even harvest more, and you're going to even have more results, because many of you who are listening to this have already grown a lot in these last few months, but also when you get to work on that Princess of Wands, you are going to see that there is indeed more, and that you were glad that you have brought it out, because not only you would have grown stronger, but it's also venom that you have released from within your energetic body, okay? And the Wheel of Fortune will play it in a way of out of joy, out of greatness, new opportunities, empowerment on your connections, and even some luck, as some people would call it. Like, good things will just happen to you, okay? And that's, I would call it in a better way, all the effort you have been putting, you have been attracting that abundance, you have been attracting that energy, and the universe is going to bring it back to you multiplied, okay? As it was happening earlier this year, and the beginning of in the end of the last year, the same thing, okay? It feels that definitely, even it might not be pretty having to deal with oneself. It's hard sometimes to really look yourself at the mirror, but if you do it in an honest way, and you are a critic with yourself, but without being abusive to yourself, okay? Critic in a way, constructive criticism, and you put passion into the progress, then you are going to indeed see a help from the universe, maybe more energetic intensity, but also you are going to see support and help, and then that Wheel of Fortune will bring you into saying, I am glad I took that leap of faith, I am glad I talked with this friend, I am glad I did this or that, because I am seeing very good results. That's a positive outcome of this Wheel of Fortune, okay? So, well, pretty much this is the month, kind of a little bit different. I felt that, and I guess it's more of the two outcomes that Spirit wanted me to explain with this Wheel of Fortune. So, well, now you have all the info, so I hope it helped, guys. Take what helps and leave what it doesn't, and, it's a big pleasure doing this for you. So, until next month.